From London, England, where the Queen lives.
Recorded live from an underground bunker and packaged into an MP3 with a pretty little picture. Helping to kickstart your day with the motivation and inspiration you need 365 days a year. This is the Learn, Develop, Live podcast. And this is your host, Chris Jaggs.
Good morning! I'd like to give you a massive welcome to another episode of the Learn, Develop, Live podcast. This is episode 104 of the weekly show. My name is still Chris Jaggs, and I'm glad you've come here to join me. For your weekly dose of motivational goodness, I want to talk to you about a feeling that so many people suffer from, but don't always deal with very well, or even know how to cope with. And the word is burnout. Burnout has so many different meanings for so many different people, some physical, some emotional, and others just mentally. Often though, some people they're just mixed together. Maybe you don't even know you might be suffering. Maybe it's a little bit, maybe it's a lot, but it's okay. We are all human, aren't we? Now before we dive right into this, let's have those messages and we can get started.
If you think you're too small to make a difference, try sleeping with a mosquito. It's the Learn, Develop, Live podcast.
Start your LDL adventure today and book your free 30-minute LDL power call over at ldlcall.com. It's time to stop whatever is holding you back and start to level up today.
Welcome back. Okay, let's get straight into this, shall we? Now, burnout happens anywhere. In your personal life, home life, work life. The biggest place for burnout is in the workplace, and this isn't uncommon, nor is it very pleasant. Now, there was data from an American Institute of Stress report which suggested that 80% of US workers feel stressed about their jobs, with 40% in roles that are very or just extremely stressful. And these figures are probably very similar to the rest of the world too. Now, even if you love your job, it's common to feel burnt out from time to time. Perhaps you just wrapped up a big project, the relief of getting it all done, and then you're having a bit of trouble mustering up that motivation for the next one. It could be a home life. Maybe it's taking up more of your energy than usual. Or maybe you're just bored. People in the high intensity jobs, like those in the emergency services, doctors, nurses, firefighters, police officers, they are particularly prone to burnout. But they're by no means the only ones who suffer from it. Across the professional spectrum, burnout can be caused by any number of factors. Long hours, conflicts with management, and overall job satisfaction and job frustration are just some of the things that can leave any worker feeling like they're on the brink of mental, emotional, or physical collapse. So what do the experts say? It's quoted that burnout is the mental and physical exhaustion you experience when the demands of your work consistently exceed the amount of energy that you have available. This has also been called the epidemic of the modern workplace. There's no question that we're at greater risk of burnout today than we were 10 years ago. When you look at your life, we're surrounded by devices that are designed to grab our attention and make everything feel urgent, and this can create a lot of pressure in every 24/7 cycle. Despite your best efforts, it can lead you to feel lethargic, stressed, and depleted. Literally spent. The easiest cure is always most obvious. Take some time off. Going on a trip or setting aside a few days at home to refresh can temporarily reset your stress clock. But not everyone has the luxury of being able to take some time off or being able to do so financially. So maybe some alternative thinking is needed here. Being able to recognise the signs will be your first best weapon in the invisible battle that you may find yourself in. There are 3 big signs of burnout. The first, emotional exhaustion. Now this is exactly what it sounds like. A sense of being drained and unmotivated and tired, both physically and psychologically. It gives you the sense of moving through mud, and we all know how well that works, or not. Another symptom is something called depersonalization, or a substitution of characteristics for an actual person. Now, the best example of this could be if nurses started to refer to a patient as the heart attack in room 8, or a psychologist might refer to a client as that OCD guy. The people you work with are not seen as people, but more like a burden and just building amounts of resentment. And finally, the last big sign of burnout is when you start to lose the ability to focus. You seem to take more time and more energy to achieve, well, less. We've all seen someone work hard and long hours, but still not managing to get much done. Burnout has been described as feeling similar to depression. But while the two do share many traits, burnout tends to be more situational than the depressions, all feeling in a state of grey. One sign could be that if someone feels down at work, but then their mood changes when the football is on, then it's likely to not be depression. But depression can affect every area of your life, whereas burnout is just a little bit more specific to one area. If you want to start to combat burnout and get back control of your life again, there are some ways of getting you started. First of all, start with the physical side. Okay, alright, it sounds obvious, but a lot of people still don't listen to this now. Getting enough sleep, exercise and proper nutrition will work wonders for both your mood and your stress levels. Imagine waking up happy, jumping out of bed and ready to take on the day instead of just snoozing the alarm 3 times and dragging yourself out of that pit. You can take breaks during the workday. Now, burnout can stem from a lack of understanding about what it takes to achieve the peak performance in the workplace. Now, people assume that this requires trying harder or outworking others. Now, this may get you some short-term results, but psychologically, this isn't sustainable. If you want to perform at your best over the long term, you need regular opportunities for restocking that mental energy of yours. Now, this is where breaking up your workday will really help you. Go for a walk, go for a run. Eating away from the desk and being away from the computer, if that's your working environment, will help you refocus with a fresh perspective when you come back. Stepping away is normally when the solution you've been trying to work out just becomes more apparent. So it is good to always take a step back. Now, with all this, a lot of people are just more focused and energized in the mornings, so maybe that's the best time to tackle on those bigger jobs before you do the little nitty-witty ones. Now, here's a big one that will scare a lot of people. Put away your digital device, and this is a big winner for a lot of people that do it. Now, I did this myself a few weeks ago, just a bare minimum of anything on social media, just, a break from it all. The people constantly messaging you to sell them this and sell you this, because this will change your life and that will change your life. Will it? Will it really? So previously, if you wanted to take work home with you, it required effort and planning. But in this day and age, you are effectively carrying around a small office in your pocket with that smartphone. We are all still attached to work. How you fight this is quite simple. You can limit the time you spend on your phone, checking emails, reports, social media. Turn your phone off. Put it in another room. Dedicate some time to the people that actually live with you. Friends, family. That email, it can wait until tomorrow. That photo of Dave's salad, it isn't that important. It can all wait. Something other people try is they go and do something interesting. Now, putting your work aside, it will certainly help you focus on stuff that interests you, whatever that may be. Go and play football with your friends. Go cook something new. Plan a night in with the family, food, films, and just time together. There is research that shows that approach goals are easier and more enjoyable to achieve than the work ones. Even if that activity is difficult, doing that activity, whatever it may be, is actually better for you than simply relaxing with your feet up. Now, how you spend your downtime is important, but it's good to try and keep your mind engaged and not just wandering off into Wonderland. Surprisingly, it will actually give you more energy, both mentally and physically. There are plenty of things you can try and do. Some will obviously work better for you than others, and this is why we're all different. The main things to remember here is to set yourself some boundaries around your use of the digital devices during your off hours. Incorporate regular breaks into your workday. Focus on why the work matters to you if the job stops you from having a break for yourself. The other things you should look to avoid is checking your email when you're taking a holiday or a long weekend away. Spend all your downtime engaging in activities that challenge and interest you. Try not to mistake constant tiredness, down mood for a temporary case of burnout at work. And if you feel ineffective on a daily basis, maybe it's time to look for a new job, because you deserve to be happy after all. So the question is, if you're feeling burnt out, how are you going to deal with it? Now that is me done for this week. Whether you are chasing happiness or success, whatever you're after, you need to be the one to make the start. Life is always going to be what you make it, so why not start today? Why not start right now? Come and book your slot over on my calendar right now. There has never been a better time awaiting to talk to you. Remember, the time is now. ldlcall.com. The calendar is awaiting for you to start your journey to level up in life today. Book your slot on the Learn to Live calendar at ldlcall.com, and let's speak soon. And for those worried that this will be a sales call, no fear. Let's just have a great conversation to find the best plan for you to move forward. Let's speak soon. Have a great week, and I'll be back tomorrow with more.
The Learn, Develop, Live podcast, helping you become the person your dog thinks you are.
That would be very nice.
Goodbye.
What? It's over already?
All over.
Thank you for listening to the Learn, Develop, Live podcast. I hope you feel as warm, motivated, and fuzzy inside as I do. You can connect with Chris at LearnDevelopLive.com or on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter.
I won't say goodbye. I'll just say until we meet again.
Until next time, join the motivation. Motivation.